I gotta read. Good morning, ladies and germs. Unannounced live stream that I think everybody knows. If nothing else, all I want is the truth. So this is kind of thrown together on the laptop today. I've got somebody live on the phone with me to address some accusations against an individual who races in a stable in New Jersey. You all know who he is, but let me read my disclaimer first. The views and opinions expressed by guests appearing on Equine Advocacy Alliance live streams are solely their own and do not necessarily reflect the views, positions, or policies of Equine Advocacy Alliance. We're not responsible for any statements, claims, or opinions made by our guests. But this guest is going to tell the truth from his own mouth. So I got on the phone right now. Joe Bongiorno. Joey, what's going on?
How you doing, Mike?
Well, we've spoken in depth in the last couple of days, but I'm going to set you up. The result of my phone call to him this morning, or me messaging him, actually you messaged me as I was on the phone with this person who was calling me to tell me that you had a horse. We know about the horse last week. I haven't reported on it yet because you and I spoke. I've gotten the real story from you, what happened. And I've been waiting for the full necropsy report. But anyway, in the meantime, people just jumped to a conclusion again last night that a horse that you scratched was in fact the horse that died last week. And this is the story as of this morning. It happened 3 days ago again. And I mean, I just can't stand people being attacked wrongfully. I don't care. And like I said, don't take it wrong who you are. But Joe, like I tell everyone else, you got the floor. Tell us what happened. Tell everyone the truth.
Well, apparently from what you told me, I got in trouble and couldn't drive last night, or fell into my depression and couldn't drive last night, which is just yet another lie, but I'm used to it. And I was sick last night and stayed home, and that's a problem. You know, guys call up all the time, but I do it, and it's an issue. But vandalism. So I guess they're saying he died, or he's the horse that died. Meanwhile, he raced last Saturday, and that's when the other horse that did pass away after training, that's when that horse passed away.
Right.
And as we spoke about, it was a horse that trained a mile in 2.5. He trained first trip. He went back in his stall, normal. We went back out. I went a mile in 2.5 with a 3-year-old that I was thinking was probably going to be a 49 pacer this year. Went back out, was going to go nice, easy mile in 2.5, and he got leg weary down the lane. I pulled him up right after the wire, turned him just to walk back to the barn, and I could feel him getting leg weary, and he flipped me out of the race bike. But I mean, to the stories that you were telling me of what was being said, it's despicable. You know, what people can hide behind screen names and write about somebody. It's a disgrace. People should be ashamed of themselves. And so they're saying that vandalism was that horse, and meanwhile that horse raced last Saturday night. So that's what clowns these people are. People who are just trying to start issues for me or for whoever else in that matter that they write about. You know, there's a lot of false things that go out there, and to be honest, I'm sick and tired of it, and I try not to pay any attention to it. But you know, I have no problem talking to you. You know, when you called me about the other situation, you know, same thing as when you called me today about, you know, vandalism. And like I said, he raced last Saturday. He was scratched last night because he came out of a training sore, and you know, jogged him on Friday morning. I didn't like him, and decided to scratch him. So, like promised, you'll have a video of vandalism within the hour, and you could post that for all your followers who like to try to start shit.
Well, you know what? I call it this. I think it's not the followers. It should be the people in harness racing, the people in the business.
Yeah, 100%. You know what I mean.
Yeah, no, what I'm saying is this is the shit that's got to stop. Again, you know, people got a vendetta with you, or they got an issue with you, okay? People got issues with me. People got issues with everybody in harness racing. The hatred and the envy and the the nonstop beratement, harassment as cowards never ends. This bothered me, and I told you the other night when I called you, when I heard what happened and people are messaging me, and I'm like, okay, here we go. I'm not going to lie. That's what was my initial reaction. And then the story just didn't add up. And then I saw the story on Standard Canada. And I said, fuck this. Let me just call the guy. And I messaged you and you sent me, and we talked within 2 minutes. We were on the phone.
Yeah.
And like I said to you then, even what happened, we talked about everything, legit. Your sister, your dad, all of that stuff, the things people, I even kid with you about. I said, now I got the bouncing, right? Because you mentioned about your driving style. I said, well, if you're not causing any problems, it may be, unorthodox, but who fucking cares? They want you lynched, not so much because of you. It's because of around you. Let's just say it that way. Okay.
Yeah.
Nobody's fucking perfect.
We know I've had a target on my back, maybe, from my father in the past or whatever the case may have been. And listen, maybe I had, I definitely did certain things probably and, had issues with certain people and maybe caused issues, for myself at some points. But, the people who love me know what kind of heart I have and they love me to death. But the people who hate me, they fucking hate me. And that's fine. Listen, I had whipping fines when I was younger, and so has every other driver in the business. Maybe I had some more than others when I was younger, but find me my last whipping fine and, go ahead and find them. Go ahead and look for them. But, listen, driving is driving. Things are going to happen on the racetrack, unfortunately. And, watch me closely. Don't just be a hater. Watch me closely. Yeah, I might have an unorthodox style, like you said, bouncing or jumping, like some people want to say it, but it works for me. I win a lot of races. I think I do very well for myself, especially after taking a year off. And, I came back and I'm doing very well. And I don't really care what people have to say about my driving style, but I'm not out there beating horses up in the race. Go ahead, watch my races. Like me and you talked about the other night, I might be jumping up and down and bouncing up and down, but I'm pecking the shaft and going from one side to the other and hitting the wheel disc. But to say I'm out there, beating horses up to death in race, come on, it's stupidity. Well, I'm sick and tired of it.
I just found it so difficult to believe. Everyone, and I'm going to use the name, you're reading Horse Plop. We all read Horse Plop. You may not engage, and then if you're not reading it, like this morning, I'm getting messages about something that was said about something. I'm like, I don't give a shit, but you can't escape it. When they were saying that you beat a horse the length of the stretch until he hit the ground, all this shit, I said, this is bullshit.
How'd the video look that I sent you?
Oh, you sent it?
No,
of your training.
The training that I sent you of the training.
Well, I haven't really addressed that. Joey sent me a video of that horse training, that mile. I'm not going to release that because you're still waiting on the necropsy. I may never release it, but what I'm going to say is you're all wrong. And where were all these witnesses that said, like the one person that said to me verbatim that this is what happened and then messages me, goes, I have nothing solid and I'm not even stable there. So that's just fucked up. That's the shit I can't stand. And then that happened again this morning with a gentleman that I actually know. And he goes, no, I said, dude, the horse you're talking about last night, that's not even the same horse. Well, it happened 3 days ago. I said, you're not even in the same week. And that's why I said, fuck this. I gotta get you on here. And that's
I don't mind talking and telling my side of the story, but I don't need to explain to anybody anymore because I'm, like I said, the people who like me love me, and the people who hate me, I'm never changing their minds, and I'm totally fine with that. And like we discussed, you have plenty of people who hate you, and that's fine, and I'm sure you're fine with that.
I love it.
But it's the same goes for me. And like I told you, I didn't want to come on originally because, like I said, I'm not changing people's opinion on me, and I don't really care. But it's getting stupid. So I appreciate you having me on.
Well, you had, like I said, you even sent me the communications between the veterinarian when you turned in the initial report last Saturday at the Meadowlands. You had
which was that night. And people said that the commission had no idea about it for days, which is another lie. The horse was sent for an autopsy that day. I sent you the text thread that day with the veterinarian within an hour of the incident happening. And the horse got picked up, like I said, that day to go for his autopsy. Like, you saw the initial, text with my vet that he wrote back of what happened, and we're just waiting for the actual report to come back so you could post it for all your people.
Well, for the business to see, because one thing that the business for some reason just refuses to
say that again.
The one thing that the industry and the people, they just refuse to deal in reality, and that's what's killing
100%.
and that's what's killing the game. But anyway, if you're good with that, that's like I said, I wanted people to hear it from you, and
that's totally fine. And as promised, you'll have a video probably within an hour and a half of vandalism. Happy in his stall. He doesn't have any broken bone or snapped leg or anything like that. I just thought he was.
They said he was dead, Joe.
Oh, okay. Well,
you just need him to be alive.
He's not dead. He's alive. So no, he's very, very much alive.
All right, man. Well, go race. Good luck.
Thanks, Mike.
Got it, man.
Bye.
And I know everybody hates me for this. I don't give a fuck who it is. The truth. I know you all hate him. Everyone, you all hate. You hate, but you're looking at the wrong people. Meanwhile, at the same time, your business, your industry is evaporating right under your feet. And, you continue to focus on what I call low-hanging fruit rather than do anything about it. If you've got any real issues like I've fucking done, and I've taken the heat for it, and I've basically banned myself from the industry, when you have a situation like this, and if you're concerned and you have actual evidence, which you don't, because the story on this one, you're so fucking wrong, okay? You're back, well, I'm not even going to go into the whole, nobody cares. It's just, it shows your personalities, but take it to the judges, take it to the track management, take it to the commission. Why won't you do that? Because you're fucking cowards. And you're fucking liars. So on this one, you got it all wrong. And once I get the video of this horse at the barn today, I'll post it. And I'm sure you'll say it wasn't that horse. It was this other. That horse that you say died and was scratched last night, raced last Saturday, the same day he trained the 3-year-old that died on the track. You fucking morons. Anyway, enjoy your Sunday. I got shit to do. Peace, everyone. No, it's not. Hang on a second, people. I got another message here. See if they're doubling down on their bullshit. Hang on. Let me just see. Yeah, it's the same individual and telling me this. Well, you're wrong. The horse is alive. Anyway, I'm done. Peace out.